subatomic particle. A subatomic particle is nothing but a particle which is smaller than an atom in size. Typically, an atom can be broken down into three subatomic particles, namely protons, electrons, and neutrons. Protons and neutrons together make up the nucleus of an atom and are hence called nucleons. Some important points regarding the discovery and properties of protons are the following. Protons are positively charged subatomic particles. The number of protons in an atom is equal to the number of electrons in it. The discovery of protons is credited to Ernest Rutherford.
Electrons are the subatomic particles that revolve around the nucleus of an atom. These electrons may be removed from or gained by an atom to form ions. Electrons of different atoms come together to participate in chemical bonding. A few points detailing the discovery and the properties of electrons are the following. Electrons are negatively charged subatomic particles. An equal number of electrons and protons are found in the atoms of all elements. Sir Joseph John Thomson is credited with the discovery of electrons since he was the first person to accurately calculate the mass and the charge of an electron. Neutrons, along with protons, make up the nucleons. Neutrons are named for their neutral nature. Unlike protons and electrons, they do not carry any charge. The discovery and general properties of neutrons are the following. Neutrons are neutrally charged subatomic particles. The masses of two different isotopes of an element vary due to the difference in the number of neutrons in the respective nuclei. The neutron was discovered by James Chadwick in the year 1932.
Let us now talk about ions. What is an ion? An ion is the combination of two or more atoms. And one thing you should know and remember about ions is that ions have charge. They are either positively charged or negatively charged, depending on whether they lose electrons or gain electrons. Now, why does an ion's charge depend on electrons? Why not the protons or the neutrons? Well, protons and neutrons are bound inside the nucleus, not giving them the ability to be gained or lost. While electrons are outside of the nucleus and actually surround the nucleus, moving freely, giving them the ability to be lost or gained. Now there are two types of ions, the cation and the anion. The cation is the positively charged ion, wherein the proton is greater than the electron. In the cation, you lose electrons, so it is a positively charged ion if you lose electrons. Next is the anion. In the anion, it is a negatively charged ion, wherein the protons are less than the electrons. In the anion, you gain electrons, meaning you gain electrons if it is a negatively charged ion.
Polyatomic ion is an ion that contains two or more elements. Polyatomic compounds that contain oxygen are called oxyanions and generally have the suffix ate or ate and ite or ite. The suffix ate contains more oxygen atoms than the suffix ite. Example: sulfur combined with oxygen with the subscript of 4 and the charge of -2 is called sulfate, and sulfur combined with oxygen with the subscript of 3 and the charge of -2 is called sulfite. Some elements form more than 2 different polyatomic ions containing oxygen. To name these ions, add the prefix PER or per to indicate it contains more oxygen than the 8. Only 4 of the common negatively charged polyatomic ions do not use 8 or ite system, and these are OH, HS2, O2, and CN. Acid formulas often begin with hydrogen, and inorganic compounds containing hydrogen, oxygen, and one other element are called oxyacids. In naming acids, hydrogen is the first element in the compound's formula, and the second consists of a polyatomic ion containing oxygen. It is modified in the following manner. 8 changes to ik, while I changes to us.
Molecule. Molecule is the group of two or more atoms that are held together by chemical bonds. Molecules have fixed ratio and are always electrically neutral. Diatomic and polyatomic molecules are two of the types of molecules. First, diatomic molecule is composed of only two atoms of the same or different chemical element, while polyatomic molecule is composed of more than two atoms.
And now, let's proceed to chemical formulas. Under this, there is binary compounds. There are only three main points that you should remember. The first one is that it is usually the same as empirical formula. Number 2, it only contains two elements. Number 3, it is composed of metal cation plus non-metallic anion. Under this, there are two types of ionic compounds. Let's discuss the first one. It is a metal that forms one type of cation. You will name the metal first, followed by the non-metal. It has been modified to its identifying stem and attach a suffix "ide" or IDE. Let's proceed to its example. The given elements are sodium and chlorine. Sodium has a charge of positive, while the chlorine has a charge of negative. Its formula is NaCl, and the compound name is sodium chloride. The second type of ionic compounds is a metal that can form two or more types of cations. This includes metals in center of periodic table and transition metals. Stock system is used to name these compounds. The given formula is copper with a charge of positive 1. The stock system name is copper with the numeral number 1. Its classical or old name is cuprous. If the given formula is copper with a charge of 2 positive, then its stock system name is copper with the Roman numeral 2. Its classical or old name is cupric.
The purpose of this lecture is to specifically address the issue of chemical nomenclature. Several methods of system for naming chemicals have been developed over the years. Initially, each chemical gets its own name based on whatever feature impressed people at the time. In the late 1700s, Anton Laurent Lavoisier proposed a systematic nomenclature in which compounds were named according to the elements contained in them. That basic approach has been kept over the years, even though different methods have been developed to achieve it. There are two ways to name covalent compounds: the prefix system and the stock naming system. There are also several types of names, namely, simple Latin stock and prefix simple names are used for ionic compounds and some covalent compounds where only one compound is made from those elements. Latin names are used for ionic compounds and some covalent compounds where more than one compound is made from those elements. Stock names are used for ionic compounds and covalent compounds where more than one compound is made from those elements. Actually, compound is made from those elements, but the stock names are the same as simple names in those cases.